Yeah, that looks good. I like the purple. All right, it is that time of year again when we start talking about what might be coming out in the next 12 months for 2021. Obviously, electric mountain biking has rocketed, exploded, taken off and gone catastrophic in the past year or 2 years, but in the last year we've seen so much stuff come out. Now this is the time of year where start thinking about, right, what's coming out next year, what might we see? And I look back, I did one of these kind of rumor videos last year, and most of the stuff that I spoke about has come true. We saw a new Shimano motor, we saw a new breed of lightweight e-bikes come out. Specialized released a lightweight e-bike. We've just seen a banging looking e-bike come out from Orbea, and loads of those predictions happened, so that was cool. And I'm going to do exactly the same this year. Now, I don't have any inside information. If I did, I wouldn't be allowed to share it like this anyway. So this is all pure speculation and me thinking, oh, what's going to come out, and just educated guesses. So don't read too much into this. But here's the stuff that I think is going to be likely in 2021. First of all, I have no doubt that we will see a new Specialized Levo this year. If you look at the history, they had an e-bike come out in 2016, the original Generation 1 Levo, and then the current Generation Levo came out in 2018, late 2018. 2018, 2019, 2020, they normally follow like a 3-year cycle. And if you look at what the bike has been modeled on, it actually is very similar in terms of like aesthetics and design as the stump jumper. So the original one looked like that stump jumper of that era. Then the current model looked like the previous generation stump jumper. And I say previous because they've just released a new regular pedal-based stump jumper Evo and a new stump jumper as well. And normally when they do that, you can look at what happened to the Levo after that, and they kind of followed suit. They followed the same style and design. So I'm hoping that we see some of those pieces of innovation come over from the new stump jumper Evo and they make it into the new Levo. I really do hope. There is one massive thing that I think will be really interesting to see. Will Specialized keep the Bros motor, or will they move to their Marley motor that they made for the Levo SL, the lightweight one? Will they upscale that? I don't know. I'm not sure that they will. I think that it costs so much to develop. I think it's a big job to develop a new motor from scratch. So I think we'll see them continue to use Bros, but obviously everyone knows that the Levo's had its fair share of issues with this Bros motor. So who knows, maybe we'll see a Bros version 3 that will go into the 3rd generation Levo. But I think that this could be just a massive deal when this new bike comes out, because Specialized don't hang around. They've had 3 years to develop the successor to that Levo that came out in 2018. I can't believe it's been that long already. Secondly, we will see more sub 17 kilo electric mountain bikes. This lightweight category is so ripe still. We've got the Levo SL that came out in February this year. I think that'll continue for at least another year. Maybe they'll do something with a motor, because the Orbea came out recently and it's got like almost twice the torque with that Shimano motor. But Orbea have demonstrated with the Rise that's just come out over the past few weeks that you can get a super lightweight electric mountain bike using like off-the-shelf parts. And when I say off-the-shelf parts, I mean Shimano already produced this EP8 motor now that is pretty lightweight. The whole motor itself is only 2.6 kilos. So pretty lightweight. And Orbea have a smaller battery, 360 watt hour battery, so that saves a lot of weight when you shrink it down and you cap the power of those motors so they don't rinse through all the batteries. So basically Orbea have demonstrated that you can get a Shimano motor and and you can make your own smaller battery and put some lightweight components, make a banging carbon frame and make a sub 17 kilo electric mountain bike. In fact, the lightest one is as light as 16.2 kilos. So no doubt we're going to see more around 17 kilo lightweight e-bikes and more like enduro style e-bikes. Like the Orbea Rise looks fantastic, but I would like to see more enduro style super light e-bikes that are around like 17, maybe 17 and a half, 18 kilos. Because once you get to that kind of weight, it does make a significant amount of difference. So a lot of people say to me, what is the point in saving a few kilos? It hardly makes any difference. Let me tell you, it is significant. Imagine riding your bike that you've got now and duct taping on 4 litres of Coca-Cola or Pepsi Cola to your frame. Imagine the difference in the agility of that bike and jumping it and moving it around. Even if you stuck 1 2-litre bottle of Coke to your frame, you know that is going to make a difference to the way that bike feels, right? So in order to get a simulated effect of how different a lightweight bike feels to a full fat bike, go and strap 4 litres of Coke to your bike frame and ride it and tell me how different it feels, because it feels massively different. So I'm sure we're going to see more 16, 17 kilo e-bikes that are appealing to people that are seasoned cyclists. They don't want the full surge of power. They just want a light, nimble bike that feels more close to a traditional e-bike, but gives you that kind of Lance Armstrong EPO fueled insane ride that you can do that you would never be able to do on human power. So more lightweight e-bikes. On the flip side, on the total opposite side, we're going to see more heavyweight e-bikes. Bike stuff is getting heavier. We're putting on thicker carcasses on our tires, coils on our shocks as our shocks, bigger beefy suspension. Look at what's just come out, the Fox 38, heavier, burlier fork. The Zeb from RockShox, a heavier, beefier, burlier fork. More bikes are coming out with coils. More of us are experimenting with coils. They're like twice as heavy as regular shocks. Tires are getting thicker and heavier, and e-bike brands are building up these bikes, and they're coming out, I'm weighing them, like 24, 25 kilos. So I think we're going to see this split of more lightweight e-bikes and heavier e-bikes. The bikes that I've rode recently that have come out, the 2021 bikes, High Bike came out with their all mountain, it's like 23.7 kilos maybe. Focus came out with their Sam Squared, it's just under 25 kilos. And I think that we're going to see more of these beefy e-bikes come out that have got really decent components on them. And honestly, riding heavier e-bike just gives you a different experience as well. You can just blast through stuff and charge through stuff, and the suspension now is so good that it feels like a kind of bit more like a monster truck, just like pummeling over things, but it's actually a bloody good laugh. It's different to like lightweight, it's different to regular pedal bikes. It's a different experience that you get with these beefcake e-bikes. We've also got that to look forward to, heavier e-bikes coming out with these beefy builds on them, and they're going to be just a bloody good laugh for smashing out laps and just kind of charging through the terrain. Sadly, I think we're also going to see the price of bikes go up. Like the demand and economies, and so much has happened in the world with, you know what, I don't need to explain, but that has had an effect on like everything. Manufacturing, sadly, the fact is that I believe that e-bike prices are going to rise about 5, 10, maybe 15% through 2021, and it completely sucks because more people are kind of losing their jobs and are at risk because of like businesses folding and stuff. I think that cycling, e-biking, whatever, promotes well-being, mental health, and keeping you fit, and just meeting up with friends and mates, and there's so much good stuff that comes with cycling, and I fear that the prices are going to go up for 2021. Like, the best example of a good cheap e-bike to ride was the Decathlon Stylus, and that the demand for that just exploded. It was like 2,700 quid or whatever, and I know they're bringing out a new one next year. I would be very surprised if their price remains as low as it did at 2,700 quid, and that kind of set the benchmark for decent entry-level electric mountain bikes. And you know, it's not the perfect e-bike by any stretch of the imagination, but at 2,700 quid, it's half the price of what we're seeing a lot of e-bikes that are coming out now priced at. So I don't know, I just think that e-bikes are going to go up. I hope it doesn't, but I fear that 2021 we're going to see an increase in bike pricing. All right, next we're going to see multiple bikes from the same brand, the same manufacturer. YT have only really got one e-bike, the Decoy and the Decoy 29. It's almost identical, it's just one's a 29er, one's a mullet. Santa Cruz have only got one e-bike. No doubt we will see them bring out new versions of, or multiple versions of their bike. So Santa Cruz is still running 27.5 front and rear. Maybe they'll bring out a new one, mulleted bike, who knows, longer travel e-bike. I think we'll see them diversify their product line. They won't just like rely on one type of bike, because if someone doesn't like 27.5 inch wheels, Santa Cruz is not going to appeal maybe to that rider. But if they've got a mullet bike or a full-on 29er, it is more appealing to more people. So it makes business sense to me. And we've still got some brands out there that don't even have e-bikes. Off the top of my head, I don't think Transition do. Yeti, there's probably loads more that you can help me out with down in the comments. But no doubt we will see, like, all brands have an electric mountain bike. All competitive mountain bike brands right now will need to have an electric mountain bike by the end of 2021. Otherwise, they're dead as far as I'm concerned. They will die because business is changing so rapidly. And e-biking, we've got this window of opportunity to get your product out, and if you haven't got it out soon enough, like, you're not relevant anymore. So more e-bikes from brands that haven't got them, and multiple e-bikes within a brand's range. All right, next up, better integration. Like, even now, brands are coming out with bikes and they're bound by the motor manufacturers and the kind of integration that they can offer. Like, Bosch is notoriously bad. I don't like the displays. If you've watched any of my reviews, I always go on about the display. It's just not good, and the controller's not good. The motor is brilliant, but the integration and the controls let it down. I think we'll see more better thought out integrated e-bikes, like better cable management. Look at what Focus did with their cables that go into the headset. It looks so neat, into the stem and through the bike. It looks brilliant, really well thought out. We'll see more of that from more brands. And look at what Forestal are doing with their Sirion. That bike you can't even get yet. You can pre-order, still not out, but it's got a Bafang motor, which is actually not a common brand that you see in more mainstream electric mountain bikes, but they've gone with the Bafang motor, and they've got this so neat, super neat like display on the top tube, and that looks brilliant. That looks like so well thought out. To me, that's like the iPhone of bikes. It's like super neat. They're thinking about the user experience, what it feels like to sit in the saddle and actually have a look at the bike, because to me, when you see just a nest of cables and wires all over the place, I kind of think, oh, could have done better here. But when a brand has thought about that integration and the display and the user experience, the UI, like you get on a computer or a phone, I think that's a great example of bringing all this technology together and having a great design on an electric mountain bike. So Forestal Sirion is an amazing example of what I think we will see more of next year. Better integrated, cleaner cockpits, better thought out systems, controllers and displays. So I'm looking forward to that because I'm a big fan of that kind of design. And finally, more electronic systems. Love them or loathe them. When they work well, they're brilliant. Like SRAM Axis, the dropper is just superb. And once you've used that super light actuation on that dropper, you don't really ever want to go back to a regular dropper. I know it sounds super lazy, but I end up using my dropper way more when I've got SRAM axis on the bike that I'm using than a regular one. It's just instant and effortless. So we'll see more electronics and innovation in this area. Fox brought out Livewire as a concept a couple of years ago. I'd like to see that come to market. SRAM axis, like the dropper's brilliant. The gear's still not quite there in terms of the feel, but we haven't seen anything from Shimano yet. They've got their Di2 that's been around for years, but we haven't got a true Shimano wireless gear system just yet. So that no doubt will be coming out really soon, and I hope we see it in 2021. Those are my predictions. Let me know yours below. Subscribe to the channel because I bring out weekly e-bike videos, and I've got so much stuff in the pipeline that I cannot wait to share with you. So subscribe if you want to be kept up to date and be amongst the first people that get to see that content. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.